everyone, it's Amanda. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are actually going to be leaving my apartment. I know, big shocker. And the reason why is because I'm going to be taking some pictures outside and then we're going to come back here and create some watercolor paintings from them. You guys always seem to ask me for more watercolor videos, and this year my New Year's resolution was to experiment with more mediums that I'm not so comfortable with, and I thought this would be the perfect opportunity. I'm really excited to be partnering up with Canon for this video. If you've watched my channel for a while, then you know that I've been using Canon cameras since the beginning, so basically 5 years. And for today, we're actually using my handy dandy Canon EOS M100 to take the pictures. It's super compact and easy to travel with, which is why we're gonna be on the go outside. But I also actually film my videos a lot of times with this, so I love it. And we're actually going to be giving away a Canon EOS 100 kit at the end of this, so make sure you stay tuned to the end if you want a chance to win your very own. But without further ado, let's get out of here. Let's go take some pictures. Alright, so I always talk about how great this camera is for beginners, but let's say you have anything that you're confused about or questions about the features of the camera, I recommend using the Canon Coach app, which is filled with a bunch of different video tutorials created by another YouTuber from Toronto, Peter McKinnon. He's super awesome and really talented at cameras, and I actually learned quite a bit just watching those video tutorials as well, and it's great because it matches up with the camera that you have. So now that you have all of the knowledge of your camera, it's time to take it out and go take some pictures. I knew I wanted some street photos with some action in it, so I walked around the city for a bit and took a bunch of photos, and it was really great because this camera is so compact and easy to travel with, so I could just click the photo and go. Plus, when I came back home, this camera actually has Wi-Fi capabilities in it, so it was really easy for me to transfer the photos from my camera to my phone so I could use it as a reference. You can also use your phone as a live view shooting app monitor if you want, which I think is pretty cool. But yeah, it's really easy to transfer all the files over. You don't even have to worry about like plugging in the SD card into your computer, which I absolutely love. And all of these features just makes creating really easy, whether you're taking photos or making videos. It just always helps me feel inspired because I know I don't have to fuss around with all of the technical aspects of the camera. I can just create and be sure that I will have a high quality photo or video. So now that we have our photos, it's time to crack out the watercolor paints and start painting. I was really excited about this one. You guys know I love doing loose illustrations. A lot of the street photos that I took had people walking and cars moving, so there's a lot of motion in the photos, and I wanted to reflect that in my end illustration, so I thought that the loose style would kind of reflect that very well. Plus, you guys know that my drawing style is never very realistic. I always tend to be pretty quick with my sketches and my drawings, so I think that works well with the watercolor and the sketch style. Now, I did have one main photo that I was referencing from, but I did change things up a little and take some inspiration from a couple of the other photos that I took because the main photo didn't have enough people walking, so I wanted to kind of throw things in. So don't be afraid to, skew off a little from your reference photo. You don't need to make it exact. Be creative with it and add in whatever you feel like your drawing needs. The big challenge for me with this drawing was the perspective, because the buildings obviously have a lot of windows and linear lines, and if your perspective is off kilter, it can look a little funky. So it was a really good exercise for perspective for me. In case anyone has never drawn perspective drawings, the basic premise is to draw a dot in the farthest distance, and then all of your lines kind of radiate out from that center dot. So I drew all of those base perspective lines with my pencil. There was quite a lot of them, and then I went in with my fine liner. Perspective takes a lot of practice, and I still don't even think that I'm perfect at it, but since this whole drawing was a bit looser, I didn't really focus too much on making it exactly perfect. A lot of times I didn't even use a ruler for the lines because I wanted it to look kind of like a field illustration, like I was drawing it in the moment, and I feel like I kind of accomplished that. The funny part about this quote-unquote watercolor painting is that it actually wasn't very watercolor heavy. As you can see, I put a lot of focus on the fine liner drawing, and I actually layered the fine liner as well to act as a second pencil sketch. So I used 0.2 for all of the thin baseline sketches, and then I went in with a slightly thicker fine liner on top for more of the details and to darken everything up. And then later on, you'll see that I just do washes of watercolor. This kind of gave it an architectural sketch type of feel because because you could see a lot of the base guidelines and not all of them were perfect. There was a lot of crossover with the lines, which I really liked, but also it cut down on my overall art making time because I wasn't focused on making the painting really perfect. It was just quick washes of color, and as I mentioned, I was trying to do like a 30-minute challenge type of thing, and I wanted to see how similar to the photo I could get it in as short of a time. So that's why I decided to kind of skip out on the watercolor. Not necessarily skip out, but just kind of pick and choose where I wanted to spend my time, and I decided to do that on the fine liner. And I actually feel like I could have just done a fine liner drawing as well and it would have turned out pretty cool. I love the look of just pen and ink drawings. There's something so candid about them. But since this is a watercolor paint with me, I went in with slight washes of color and just kind of squinted my eye at the photo and looked at where different blocks of colors were in the photo and kind of mapped it out that way. I love looking at a photo and squinting my eyes so that it gets a little blurry, and then you just kind of get to pick out the main colors in the photo. It's a really fun trick to do for any of you painters out there. I feel like sometimes we get overwhelmed with all of the exact shades of blue and orange and red in a photo, when sometimes the best solution is just to simplify it and just clump all of the shades of blue into one, or all of the shades of brown into one, and then you can go from there and add the details on top of that. Especially with watercolor, I find that going from light washes to dark washes is definitely the way to go. Oh, I actually forgot to mention what supplies I'm using. I always get questions about that. The paper that I'm using is the Canon watercolor paper. The pencil I was using was a Muji 0.3 lead pencil. The fine liners were Sakura Pigma Micron in 02 and I think 03 a little bit later on. And then the watercolors that I'm using is Sakura Koi watercolor palette. And the brush I'm using is super old, but I've just been using the same brush for like the past 10 years and I really love it. And I actually only used that one single brush for this whole painting. But anyways, here is my final illustration. I actually really love the way it looks. I feel like it's kind of a vignette of a moment in time. Alright everyone, so that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and liked the final painting. I actually had a lot of fun filming this, so maybe I'll do more of these in the future. But anyways, now on to the giveaway. Canon Canada and I have teamed up to give away a Canon EOS M100 camera kit, which I am so excited for one of you guys to get because it's just such a great camera. I always use it to film my videos and it's really compact. If you want to enter the giveaway, all of the details will be in the description box below. It'll be pretty easy to enter. What to do is follow me and Canon Canada on Instagram and then comment on my most recent Instagram picture. So I think that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for joining me on my watercolor adventure today. If you want to see more videos from me, be sure to hit that bell button down below so you'll be notified every time I post a new video. Keep doodling and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye everyone!